Hey, Santa Barbara, it's Abel Ramos and Jackie Potter with Compass, bringing you our market update for January 2024 and what's in store going forward for the rest of the year. So that being said, kick it off with the highest and lowest price sale in our market last month.
In January, we had definitely an interesting dynamic. So our lowest sale was in Carpinteria. It was off of Hickory, a nice condo there. Was listed at $579. It was only in the market for 30 days, so pretty average, but it did sell under for about $545. So that was in Carpinteria. And then the highest sale price, which is kind of an interesting one, it shows you the dynamic, I think, right now in luxury, was a house in Montecito on Alston. It was above Montecito Club, ocean views, recently remodeled to actually be more of a modern design, which is kind of unique. But this one is interesting because it was on the market, came off the market, and then sold off market this year. So it sold for about $2 million under the original list.
Well, and it sold off market, which is interesting, but not too uncommon for our market to have properties actually sell not on the MLS, especially at that price point.
Right, exactly. So, 14, I think, I don't know if I said, but around $14.5 million was closing.
So, it's expensive property. So our median sales price for a single family home that is not in the luxury price point was right around $2.4 million for January. And that's for a single family. And for a condo, we were at, just under $900. It was $878, but let's just call it, $900,000 still for a condo. Hasn't really moved much.
I laugh when you say it's not luxury at $2.4 million.
Well, not luxury in our market. Yeah, let's say that because some people are going to attack us for that. So it's not luxury, the luxury price point for the Santa Barbara market.
Right, but that's our median sales price.
That's our median,
2.4.
Regular home.
Move in, may have to do a little bit of work.
Price point, which is unreal.
Yeah. I was going to say another thing that's interesting is we did have 13% increase in sales for a total of 86 sales. So that, again, is still a low number, but it is good to see that sales are increasing. It'll be interesting to see what it's like in February because we'll touch on it later, but there have been some things going on with interest rates kind of affecting loan applications and things like that, but we were still 41% cash market this month. So
which is still strong and within normal range for our market. So going back to the 86 sales, though, I think if you look at the graph, we'll bring it up on the screen here, it still charts out to be one of the slowest months on record.
Yeah.
So 86 sales is definitely not a busy month, although it sounds big saying it's up 13%, but there wasn't many sales in December either. So kind of moving forward, hopefully we'll have some more sales happen as the year progresses, obviously. Things should pick up.
Another thing that kind of is interesting and is out of the norm for the last couple years, our months of inventory was above 2.
Right.
2.02, but still above. So that kind of tells you, again, not a lot of sales. We're having a little bit more inventory coming up. Nothing to be alarmed about, but
still more inventory coming on the market.
Yeah, there's kind of something to look at and see what we're going into for,
Well, with that being said, our average days on market, though, for a single family home is still only at 30 days.
Yeah.
So
condos 24.
Right. So things are still selling pretty fast. And surprisingly enough, in February, there was a couple, I hate to call them flip properties because they looked really nice. I don't know if they were deemed flip, quality, but very beautiful homes that were bought and resold within a year that had multiple offers and all sold within days of hitting the market. And that was at in the multi-million-dollar price point, so $4 million plus. So still things are moving very quickly if it looks good and it's priced well.
Yep.
Right? And it's something that is hard to find.
Right.
Well, Jackie, earlier you mentioned a little bit about interest rates, so let's go dive into that and tell us what you think.
Yeah, there's this headline that I'll bring up for everybody to read here, but basically, according to data published by the Mortgage Bankers Association, mortgage rates fell, or mortgage applications fell 2.3%, which, is in correlation, obviously, to the rate environment that we've been seeing. Like you were saying earlier, people anticipated that the Fed rates were going to drop. And so that was kind of already factored into the market. And just recently during their last meeting, they did not drop the rates, which then caused mortgage rates to start climbing again. And then that's where this headline comes in. As mortgage rates climb,
mortgage
applications decline,
Right.
you know? And so there is, when we talk about something like that, there is a time frame for buyers, especially to get in when there's not that much competition, and then anticipate that later on the rates might drop, and then you can still, you know, refinance and take advantage of a dropped rate. It's not like you're missing it by not getting in there. So that is something we wanted to kind of touch on, because I think it's really confusing when you hear rates are going to drop and then rates increase. But another thing to look at is just the overall trend of interest rates. I think when you go back to, you know,
October, 2023, jumbo mortgage rates were at 8%.
Yeah.
Today, we're probably at 7.3%.
Right.
Conforming loans, like in this article of Freddie Mac, you'll see a much bigger drop in rates. They were almost at 8% as well. Now they're probably in the mid sixes. So it's definitely turned around for them. But overall, rates are still higher than what a lot of people were used to.
I think it's really important to understand that rates, like most financial markets, are not a linear path. And so you can't always base your purchasing or your selling on what the rate condition is going to be coming up, because you don't actually know that. And we can have predictions and we can go to these financial analysis and, you know, try to predict what's going on. But ultimately, there's small adjustments until you look at it from the big picture. So I think our advice really is get in when you can and if you can, and then take advantage of, you know, refinancing later.
On that note, talking with the buyer in the consultation I had yesterday, if you look over the data that's in Santa Barbara MLS, you'll see that there's been an interesting development here with an actual decrease in the sale to list price ratio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's still 94%. So it's not like it's
not crashing. It's not 20% off, 30% off, but yeah.
But it does show you where we're at in the market, right? I think it tells me two things. Buyers, you know, don't really have competition on every home like we had seen in the past few years, and sellers still aren't really listing their home at the right price.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Not on every home, right? Not every home has multiple offers. Not every home is selling within days. Case in point, we represented a buyer who closed in January and negotiated $100,000 off the sales price.
Yep.
Not because the home didn't comp out at that price, but simply because the home was sitting on the market, didn't have any activity, didn't have any offers, and we just had the, you know, confidence, I should say, to go in and begin the negotiations to see if we can get this buyer this house at a, you know, discounted price.
Not a discounted house. Great house.
Right,
It was totally worth the listing price, but we were able to negotiate and get them under, and we even had some credits and things going on, which is really awesome for a home that we would have thought
would have sold at the full price.
Would have sold, which is
first week.
It's super exciting to see. But then you see our listing that we had on Fairwood, where we had multiple offers, sold right away, super quick escrow,
and significantly over the asking price.
And yeah, $365,000 over.
Put those deals together at the same exact time. So
exactly,
there could be opportunities out there for you if you are a buyer who's in the market now.
And there's opportunity for sellers. You know, you just really have to get competitive, and you have to get clear on what your goal is. And if it's to sell for a good price, then you need to have the confidence in setting a listing price that might not be the highest price you want, but it's
the most attractive or the most strategic, right?
Right.
So I still think it's a phenomenal time for sellers if you have the right strategy in place.
Yep.
And if you have the right team representing
Yeah.
you.
So if you're on the fence wondering if now is a good time to enter the market, reach out. Let's chat about it and see if you have an opportunity.
Yeah, we're always here to help. I'm Abel Ramos with Compass. This is Jackie Potter with Compass. See you next time.